buy new stuff. So 2 weeks or so. So I'm in the bar right now.
How many square feet is it?
Under air, it's 9,200. Total, it's 11,500.
You can fit a small village in there, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, Omar, today's going to be an extremely difficult meeting for most people because what we're going to do is go through the Dennis Kimbrough quotes, and there's some Jensen Zero quotes in there, and we're going to talk about it. They don't pull any punches. And I'm going to start out, though, by giving you some quotes from Think and Grow Rich. And then, and Tony, by the way, Tony, thank you very much for putting these on PowerPoint for us and categorizing us. And Tony, she's immensely valuable to what we're trying to accomplish here. And on my page 37, you know, page 36 was the cornerstone page that Art Williams, when he read it, that kicked something in. In fact, if you've ever been to an Art Williams meeting in the last 10 years, he always talks about page 36 and the formula. Most people on this call are very casual about making money. And they want to make money. It's important to make money. I'd like to have more money. But what he instructs us to do, and he says here, one must realize that all who have accumulated great fortunes first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing, desiring, planning before they acquired the money. So it's got to be at the forefront of your thinking and your business, not I'm trying to grow a business, build a legend. I didn't come here to build a legend. I came here to get wealthy. Then he says, you may as well know it right here that you can never have riches in great quantities unless you can work yourself into a white heat of desire for money and actually believe you will possess it. The question is, do you have a white heat burning desire to make it accumulate money and have a fortune? I would dare say most people on this call are casual, which means with making money and on the highway, if you're casual, you'll become a casualty. Then he says on page 153, poverty is attracted to one whose mind is favorable to it. Money is attracted to those whose mind has been deliberately prepared to attract it through the same laws. Poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind which is not occupied with a money consciousnmost. So if you're neutral about money, you automatically have a poverty consciousness. 99% of most Americans have a poverty consciousness, and most people are angry at the wealthy, but the truth is they're coveting the wealthy people. They don't realize, well, they're jealous, they're coveting. They're mad at them, and that's what the administration and government does. They take from the rich and they give to the poor, or they give to the poverty conscious people that think, well, the rich should give me some. And so you got a lot to overcome here today. And Omar, as I go through these quotes, I want you to comment on them. They're hard hitting.
Coach, we're losing your volume. I think your microphone, if you move the computer too much, it overrides your microphone.
Got it. I was trying to try to get me to look better. Not that much success. So anyway, let's have that again. Thank you, Tony, for putting these together. These are Kimbrough quotes and Jensen Zero quotes from You're a Badass at Making Money. And all right, next one, please. We're going to start out with the first one. The millionaires among us are men and women of laser-like focus and concentration. Wealth creators who hammer away at one place long enough to accomplish their purpose. I want to focus there on laser-like focus. You know, most people want to get the ring. They don't want to make 100,000. They want to get the ring. They want to go RVP to make more money because they can make more money on personal sales. Wealth begins in the mind, but ends in the purse. That's from Kimbrough. Jen Sincero, if it's on your mind, it will soon be in your lap. Omar, talk about these truths and how we get condemned for having a wealth conscious, money conscious. All you're thinking about is making money. I mean, whenever I get together with you, if we're not talking about money, I'm sending a doctor over to your house to see what's wrong.
Well, I mean, it's all true. If you read every one of those quotes, it's absolutely true. There was 10 years of my life where morning, noon, night, every waking moment, and even as I drifted off to sleep, and the minute that I woke up, all that was on my mind was making money, okay? Because I wanted to get wealthy. And if that's what's on your mind, now it's still on my mind all the time, but there was that 10-year period where it was like all I talked about, nothing else mattered. And, you know, your relatives give you a hard time, like all you ever think about is money, all you ever think about. And I used to let them know, I don't know why you never think about money. That's your problem, right? So I would reject their criticism right away and just hit them with it. But the only way to ever get it's like when you meet that new girl. When I met Danielle, she was on my mind all the time. There was not a waking moment. I was not wondering where she is, what she's doing. And I used all my energy, all my effort to pursue her. And that's why within 9-10 months of going out on a date, we got married. Okay. So it's like that with money, right? If you want money and it's on your mind all the time, you're going to work really hard. You're going to analyze what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. You're going to adjust. You're going to look at how to maximize your effort, maximize your time, thus maximizing your wealth. But if you're not thinking about it, if it's not on your mind, you're going to keep doing the exact crap you've been doing for years and years and years that has not reaped you any reward at all. And then you're going to wonder, why am I not rich? Well, you're not rich because it's really not that important to you. Most people on this call, I would say really other than you and I, Bill, okay, because I don't know who's on the call, but probably other than you and I, there's not one person on here that is really, really money motivated. Now you say, oh yeah, we are, we're in the business. And we're really, how many recruits did you get yesterday? Did you wake up this morning and say, who am I going to recruit today? How much money am I going to make today? How much money did I make in the last hour? How many overrides rolled in the last week, in the last day, in the last hour, right? So you got to change. And if you go, Bill, I don't know, that's a little crazy and well, then you're not going to get wealthy. Anybody that's gotten wealthy, you look at Bill Gates, tells you he worked every single day in his 20s, not missing a day. That's a 10-year run where on Christmas, Thanksgiving, his birthday, there was no off days for 10 years. The Olympic swimmer, Michael Phelps, he tells you he didn't miss one practice in 10 years. He could have the flu and he was up in the morning in the swimming pool doing his training. It's like that with money consciousness, right? You got to want it more than you want to breathe. You know, people think, Bill, we're the lucky ones. Oh, Omar and Bill are just lucky. They're rich. They're so lucky. God must really love them, right? God loves everybody, newsflash, okay? And he blesses the ones, though, that work like crazy. And the only way you're going to ever work like crazy if it's on your mind constantly. So all these quotes are right on the money. And if you're listening to me and you're going, oh my God, he's going to talk about, you have to have it on your mind again, then you don't get it. You don't get it, right? You need to change the way you think.
Well, again, what's in your mind is in your purse, in your wallet. What's in your mind is in your lap. And like Virginia Carter used to tell me that, I'm sorry, not Virginia, they asked Abraham Lincoln if I had 8 hours to cut down trees, I would spend the first 5 and 6 hours sharpening my axe. And that's what you're really doing. You're sharpening your axe. And you do that, and I do that by writing out my goals. You know, Art Williams taught me every time we have a meeting like this, write 100 times your net worth goal. And the next time, write down 100 times how much money you need to make that net worth goal. Art Williams, Bo Adams said, people have no idea how money motivated Art Williams is. And so you hone your axe and you sharpen and you have a mental preparation daily in your shower, correct?
In the shower every day. And I don't know how this got out, but it got out and it spread. So in the shower every day, I have a glass.
I tell people you're
Okay.
weird, and I became weird like you.
My wife also tells everybody too. So in the shower, I have a glass door, glass walls, and I run the water hot, and it smokes up. And when it smokes up, I start writing out all my goals, income goals, net worth goals, recruit goals, premium goals, volume, it looks like a crazy mathematician is in my shower, like Rain Man, writing stuff on there. And as I'm writing them out, I'm like in my brain thinking about them, obviously, because they're numbers. So you're like thinking about them. And then I'll write them all out, and then I'll wipe them all down. And then I'll let the hot water run again. It'll smoke up again, Bill, and I'll write them all down again. And when I was a newlywed, my wife was like, "What are you doing in the shower such a long time? You got pruny hands." I said, "Well, if you ever want to come join me, that's okay, that we're married." But what it was is I was in there, and I've been doing that for even prior to joining Primerica. So for years and years and years. And they were different goals, of course. When I wasn't in Primerica, they were other goals, but I was always constantly doing that. In the shower is my quiet time. It's where nobody calls me, nobody texts me, nobody's asking me questions, right? So it's great one-on-one time, I guess you could say. And I have to say, I got the honor and privilege to do that in your shower. That one time where I slept over and the guest bathroom wasn't working properly. You said, "Well, use my shower." I said, "I get to use the legendary Bill Orender's shower." So I was in your shower writing my goals and dreams in there. So listen, I write it in the shower. I write it on paper. I talk about it constantly all the time. If you're writing it in the shower, talking about it constantly, writing it down, and when I lay my head at night on my pillow, it's the last thing after I pray. That's what I'm thinking about. And that's the way I go to sleep, thinking about my goals. And you may listen to that, not you, Bill, but the others, and say, "Man, that's a little over the top. I don't know." Well, that's why I got what I got,
Well, I think what you're saying is making your shower your financial sanctuary.
There you go. I like that.
And again, Think and Grow Rich is very, very specific. He's got the formula. Art Williams teaches us the formulas. That tells you it's on Art's mind, the multiples, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, and write out your goals. The financial, it's the 6 financial steps. And maybe Tony, if I could, while Omar's talking, I can send those to you. Maybe you can throw those up at the end. But I've got a booklet, a 3-ring binder, and I keep count of how many times I've written down my goals.
Wow.
And it's been sporadic. I used to do it every day, but it's well over 3,500 times. And again, you multiply that, it probably takes 5 minutes, 8 minutes to do that. That's 24,000 minutes of what? Drilling in to my head, money making money, having money, accumulating money, and then the plan, I got to build a hierarchy to make that money. Not build a base job hierarchy to make that money, because that's all override money. Next one, please. Why aren't you rich? This was interesting because we'll start with the second one. John Johnson, the founder of Jet and Ebony magazines, said when Dennis Kimbrough went to interview him, I'm here to interview, kind of like a reporter, I'm writing a book. And here's the mindset of John Johnson. Young man, why aren't you rich? With your youth, education, and opportunities that stand before you, you are beyond computation. Your hour of opportunity is at hand, he said. So rich people don't understand why other people aren't rich. In America, again, the government try to keep you poor so you vote for them. Understand that. Unless you are free economically and financially, you will never be free personally, he said. Dennis Kimbrough. So isn't it your mindset, Omar? How come you're not rich?
Every day, as I talk to people in our business, in my hierarchy, I ask myself and I ask them, why aren't you rich? And you know what's the crazy part is a lot of them think they are when they're making 150,000, 200,000, 250. I go, that's not rich. Number one, what's your net worth? Okay, because your net worth is really where it's at. And in order to get the net worth, you need the income. But I ask everybody, last night, and I won't use his name, but a new $1 million earner was over our new house. And I was walking him around, giving him the tour, sauna, billiards room, poker room, movie theater, $250,000 swimming pool. And he goes, dude, you're really rich, because even if I wanted to buy all this stuff, I couldn't. And I make $1 million a year. I said, well, you just started making $1 million a year. I've been making $1 million a year pretty much since 2008, right? And I've invested well. And I told him, after I put down all the money on the house, after I decorated everything on, I still got 13 million bucks left over. And so that kind of blew his mind. And so I told him, listen, it's great that you make $1 million, but now it's time to get wealthy. And you need to do what I did and keep working hard, live under your means, invest as much money as you can. And he's looking at me like, man, I blow a lot of money. I'm like, well, then you'll never get wealthy, because there are $1 million earners who look rich, dress rich, drive a rich car, but they're not rich. And I know Bill is wealthy. I know Mike Tuttle is wealthy. I know Hector Lamarck is wealthy. I know Bobby Buisson is wealthy. And there's a lot of others who are, but there's a lot of others who are not. And I'm telling you, it's all mindset. The guys that blow all their money think I never dreamt in a million years I could get here. And then when they get here, they act like, it's like scoring a touchdown in the NFL. The guys that are pros walk in the end zone and drop the ball on the floor. They've been there before. We cross $1 million in our net worth, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, and drop the ball in the end zone, because in our mind, we've been there before. We've been there long before it happened. So when it happened, it wasn't this huge, oh my God, let me slam the ball down in the end zone. And so that's an analogy I use there.
Well, that's a great one. I forgot what coach said. Go in the end zone and act like you've been there before.
Exactly.
And Art Williams helped us a lot, and Bo Adams helped me. It was, you came here to get wealthy, not to build houses and cars and homes. Dennis Kimbrough is very specific. Poor people measure their success by their cars and their clothes. Middle income by their titles and degrees. the wealthy by their bank accounts. And so you might drive, again, people look at you now and go, wow, but you got wealthy before you built it. I got wealthy before I bought the houses. And I'm not a car guy, but I've had my Mercedes and never have another one.
Porsche, you have a Porsche. I remember your Porsche.
Yeah. And so, but I did that as a reward for hitting a net worth goal. I didn't buy the Porsche to have the Porsche. I'm going to buy the Porsche when I hit a net worth goal. When I hit the net worth goal, then I can buy the Porsche. When I hit a net worth goal, then I can buy the Rolex. When I hit the net worth goal, then we can buy that kitchen dining room table. It's all on net worth goal. I was obsessed with getting a net worth. Why? Because Art said, I didn't want anybody's thumb on me, including Art Williams. I didn't want Art Williams' thumb on me. I don't want Glenn Williams' thumb on me. And so next one, please. Counsel and condemn. Never take advice from someone who is not where you want to be. This is Jen Sincere. Remember, if you buy someone else's opinion, you buy their financial statement. And we'll talk about that in a second, and how we are berated and condemned for being wealthy. I like to say the politicians get wealthy telling people how bad the rich people are. And that's how they get their votes. You vote for me, and we're going to stick it to the rich people. And I don't know why the people who covet, and most of them do, they covet the wealthy instead of trying to become like the wealthy. Condemn the rich, berate the affluent, bemoan the well-to-do, but recognize that our values are based on our greenbacks more than our reputation. Man said that it is very difficult for the rich to be so selfish that the poor cannot enjoy their wealth. I can't tell you how many people I've employed that do things for me because I don't want to do them. You know, Carol's getting about as bad as me. You know, got to pay someone to do the windows, pay someone to do the floors. We have a housekeeper every week. We don't do anything. We pay someone to do it. Well, that it helps them out. These people are not wealthy, but the wealthy have a lot of employees. Talk about that, Omar, and how, first of all, you can't listen to anyone else because they don't get it. They've never understood it. And they've never wanted to be wealthy. So they, instead of deciding becoming wealthy, they condemn the rich. Let's pull down the rich people. Talk about that first, and how you had to fight through all that negative talk.
There's probably a little noise you're hearing in the background. They're unloading a window treatment or something, but they'll be done soon. Anyways, I learned a long time ago, listen to those who are living the life you have. So when I was in the 9th grade, 10th grade, and I started dating my high school girlfriend that I went out with 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade.
What did she blow it?
What's that?
Did she blow it?
Well, I blew it, I think. I mean, not I blew it. I'm the one that ended it. So I moved on after high school. So, but she knows though that I'm wealthy. So that's funny. But what I used to do is I used to watch her dad. So this has nothing to do with money, but it kind of does. Her dad was like a great dad, great with his wife, great with his kids, loved the Lord. He was an entrepreneur. He owned his own business. He drove a Benz. He had a nice house, not a mansion, wasn't wealthy, but he was upper middle class. And then my dad was nothing like that. And so growing up in those most influential years, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I actually spent more time with her dad than I did my dad. And a lot of talks that we had were about smart with your money, how he owned his own business. He taught me how, like, example, when you own your own business and you have your people working, you're making money when you're actually home with your wife and your kids. And I'm in the 9th grade, 10th grade, Bill, and I'm listening to this. So he had a lot of influence over me. And at the time, I was like, you know, I want that guy's life. I mean, it looked like to me, he had it all. He owned a business, drove a Benz, had a nice car, great wife, great kids, loved the Lord, just a good guy all around. So he influenced me. So I always at a young age was always listening to those who were doing or living the life that I wanted. So obviously when I got into business, I went after those relationships. Like with you, I think you and I, we originally were on an airplane together. That's where I initially met you just a little bit. You probably don't even remember, but I do. And then when we went to Texas on vacation with my wife, I called you randomly. And I said, hey, and let me tell you, I was nervous, to call you because I didn't really know you that well. But I said, this guy is wealthy. He's grown a huge hierarchy. He's a legend in the company. From what I hear, he's a great person, great wife, great kids, loves the Lord. That's a guy that I have to grow a relationship with. So we're on vacation in Texas. And I called you and said, hey, we're in town. I was wondering if it's okay if I dropped in to visit. And you said graciously, yeah, sure, come over. When I hung up the phone, I was like, oh my God, Bill Orender told us we can come over, honey. And so me and Danielle went over there, and we thought it was initially going to be 20-minute visit. You were going to be gracious and say hello. And we were there 3 hours, and we really started our relationship there. And then after that, you asked me to fly out to your builder school, where you worked me to death, by the way, which was awesome. We had a great time. And you told my wife, you said, if I knew he was this good, I would have worked him more. I said, how much more could you have worked me? So what I'm trying to tell you is with these quotes, it's very true. You got to go after the relationships you want. Like Hector and I are very close friends. Hector's flown out here to Florida. He hates Florida heat, but he was here at my house hanging out because we're friends. I fly to his place and we play golf and we talk and text, but he didn't know who I was. I knew, okay, in order to get Hector's attention, I got to make at least $500,000 a year, right? So I used that as fuel. And I went to work and I grew my business, and then I would leave him voice tells. You remember those years ago? And I'd stutter my butt off on him, Bill. Hey, Hector, you don't know me, but I just crossed $500,000 and da-da-da-da-da. And he replied. And then we started our conversation, right? So it's very true. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you hang around. And more than that, go after the relationships that you want. When there's people that you look at as, hey, they're where I want to go. They're where I want to be. Now, you got to realize a lot of times you're not able to reach those people. But in Primerica, you could reach them, or at least you could order their audio tapes or their videotapes, or you could watch them on Primerica Online, or you could plug into like the O&O Money Show or stuff like that. Larry Weidell's Big Hitter Call. So there's a way to plug into them and start to get to know them prior to actually knowing them. And then you start doing the work, and you'll work your way into those relationships. And those relationships help me. Bill Orender told me one time, Omar, you'll make more money off your investment accounts than you do in the business. And I thought he was crazy because I was nowhere near there. Well, for 2018, 2019, 2020, I've made more off of our investment accounts than income in the business. And I hope that keeps going, okay? But I want to grow my income in the business. I mean, last year we made in the business $1.5 million, and we made like $3.8 million in our investment accounts. So I more than doubled what I made in our investment accounts, right? All that was a part of the relationship that I grew with Bill. Bobby used to tell me he made $20 million a year in dividends. I was like, holy crap. 20 million, and he was making 4 million in Primerica. So he's like, yeah, that's my walk around money. That's my pocket change. So all this is relationship building, right? Like this call is a way that people can grow relationship with Bill Orender and Omar Oropesa without knowing us. They could plug in once a month like this, and they start to know the way we think and the way we are. And eventually, if they work their way up to it, they'll probably get to know us, right, Bill? I mean, that happens.
Yeah. Let me point something out that, again, wealth conscious people understand and get and are prepared for. You got to be putting tons of money away the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Why? The government, right or wrong, is about to spend $3.5 trillion on what they call a infrastructure package. About $1 trillion of it, by the way, is for non-infrastructure. It's for their pet things. Inconsequential. Right or wrong, who's going to pay? Don't worry about it. When you have $3.5 trillion being spent on construction, bridges, concrete, bricks, mortar, tar, workers, guess what? That 3.5 trillion will turn into 10 trillion. They're going to buy homes. They're going to buy cars. They're going to buy iPhones. They're going to buy restaurants. And that'll trickle down. So those fruit make money. You got to be putting money away for the next 3, 4 years. You understand what's about to happen to the economy? Again, down the road, it's going to bite us in the butt. But we can't worry about that. We got to say, I'm going to take what's been given to me now. Your net worth is going to triple, Omar, in the next 10 years.
That's triple. Music. That's music to my ears. And I have a plan. I have a plan to triple it, growing my income, making smart investments. And why not triple, right? I mean, it's actually in the last, I was looking at this, Bill, in 2009, when the market tumbled down and everything almost dropped, we had $1 million. That was it, $1 million. I'm like, oh my God, $1 million went away like nothing. That was 12, 13 years ago. So in 13 years, we've gone from $1 million to 13 million. And if you add the equity in this new house, that's another 4 million on top of the 13 million. So you're talking 17 million. We went from 1 million to 17 million in 12, 13 years. So in the next 13 years, we get to 50 million. Bill, what's it like to have 50 million? Tell us, give us the dream. What is it like to have $50 million?
It's nicer than 49 million.
You're funny.
I begged people in 2007, 2008, 2009 to get prepared. This company is going public.
Me too.
Be prepared. 99% did nothing. They sat there interesting. I'm telling you, the economy's about ready to explode. The wall of wealth is here. People are making gobs of money off mutual funds. People are making gobs. The recruiter's going to make all the money. People don't understand this, Omar. 80% of all the money being paid out to the company now are being paid out. 80% of the money going out is going to the top 5% of all the earners in Primerica. 80% of the money. Why? Because we got large hierarchies. We got big bonuses and all that's coming. It's when you build a big hierarchy. So it's very important to be prepared, get ready, build your financial bunker. Next one, please. Without this urge, again, there's an urge, and I love the term you said, I pursued Danielle. You got to pursue wealth like you do anything in life. Pursue health, pursue wealth, pursue spiritual wealth. Without the urge, this tremendous push for power, influence, and advantage that wealth provides, how could nature develop our best attributes? Without this infinite longing, and where would the discipline, faith, and perseverance that industry commands come? Without this constant struggle, what would motivate self-improvement, self-sacrificing, and bold daring? Again, all the great attributes that Omar has and Bobby Buisson and all these great leaders, it's because they pursued wealth. And all these other things had to be developed for them to be wealthy. Talk about that, Omar. And money makes you more because you got to become more to have it.
I'll give you a pretty hilarious example that just happened to me. So I have a $1 million mortgage on this house, and I got an interest rate 2.5%, 10 years. I figured, let me leave that million in the market because I'm earning more than 2.5%. And after the tax write-off, it's really 1.5% interest that I'm really paying. So I got $1 million mortgage on a $5 million house. My mortgage lender calls me. It's Morgan Stanley Private Bank. Now you say, well, why didn't you use Rocket Mortgage? They don't do rich people loans, okay? They don't do rich people loans. They do middle-class America homes, okay? So I use Morgan Stanley Private Bank, and they called me last week and they said, Mr. Oropesa, you've qualified to have a rate reduction. I said, a rate reduction? I've only lived in I haven't even moved in the house yet. What are you talking about? They said, well, we noticed that your account is over $5 million and we want to give you a discount. I said, and I thought they're trying to redo my mortgage, new closing costs, all that. I said, no, I don't need a new mortgage. I'm good. They said, no, you don't understand. It's not a new mortgage. There's no paperwork. There's no closing costs. There's no anything. We just want to reduce your rate, and it would cost you $212 less per month. That's $2,500 a year for the next 10 years. That's an extra 25 grand. You always hear that line, the rich get richer, right? It's true. So why don't you get rich, right? I mean, have you ever had your mortgage company call you out of the blue and tell you, hey, we'd like to lower your payment $200 a month, and you have to do nothing, right? It's just insane. So there's a lot of things that as you get rich, if you're smart, like I had $2 million cash last year when the market tanked. I had no problem investing all of it, every dime. Why? Because I wasn't scared of what was going to happen. $2 million went in. I was up 151% in 12 months, Bill. I made $3 million profit after taxes. It was like 2.2 million, but that was just opportunity. And I was ready for the opportunity. It's like what you said. I told all my RVPs for years prior to Primerica going public. I said, now's when you got to grow your business more than ever, got to work harder than ever, got to make as much money as you can, got to blow as little as you can, and got to be ready for when the stock comes, because it's going to make people wealthy. William Naranjo, who's one of our SNSDs, has got $10 million. Why? He made most of it off of the Primerica stock, because he was growing a huge business. He got all this stock every quarter, and now he's wealthy. Because if you got 10 million, you're wealthy, okay? He's making $250,000 a month in overrides, and he's got $10 million. He lives in a penthouse in Key Biscayne, ocean views all the way around. Unbelievable, right? All this is why you've got to be thinking about money. If you're there going, I never get lucky, stuff like that never happens to me. The reason is it's not on your brain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're not sharpening your axe every day. Your axe is dull. Your axe couldn't slice through a leaf, okay, much less wood. You got to sharpen your axe. You got to want it like you want to breathe. I can't verbalize it stronger than I'm verbalizing it, right?
Yes, there. The urge and the pursuit is indescribable. You can't explain it to people.
You just really, it's really the greatest way to relate it is like what I brought up earlier. When I met Danielle, I pursued her. I knew in 2 weeks, I'm going to marry this girl. In 2 weeks, I knew that, right? And here it is. We're now married 20 years, 2 kids. Brady just got his driver's license, Bill, his learner's permit. So he's driving around in a car, and he's driving the golf cart in the neighborhood. You could drive the golf cart if you've got a restricted license. So he's been driving a golf practice and all that kind of stuff. And all that, none of the rewards, the 20 years of marriage, the kids, the memories we've made, the love we've shared, none of that would have happened unless I pursued what I wanted, right? So all the stuff that you want costs money, right? You want to live in a nice house, nice neighborhood, private schools for your kids, want to drive a nice car, travel, all that's money. And if you don't pursue money, you're not going to have all the other stuff that you want, right? So everybody looks at, oh, money's evil. Money ain't evil. Money's awesome. You got to love money.
We've been lied to our entire life. Politicians lie to us. The banks lie to us. Pastors lie to us, because all these pastors they're all broke and they're all in debt. They have credit card debt like everybody else. They're not financially sound. And again, this last quote, say what you will, but money, the almighty dollars, they say, I love these terms, the almighty dollar, the condemning, right? Shaming is the catalyst that primes the pump for worldly exchange. The want of money is a power strong enough to keep the world in balance. This is straight from Dennis Kimbrough, who studied all these wealthy people. And so the next one, please. I can do this all day long. I love it. It's all about the money. This is interesting. I love this one. Not about, I hate it when Primerica leaders, it's not about the money. I hate it. Because why? He's telling here, it's about the money. It's not about the money. It's one of the most romantic fibs that so many of the wealthy tell themselves as well as anyone else. This belief that it's not about the money somehow makes the ultra affluent feel better about themselves. Perhaps it assuages misplaced guilt, makes them feel humble. After nearly 7 years of similar discussions with extraordinary men and women, I can tell you unequivocally, this is his science, that it is indeed very much about the money. But it's even more about making impact, influencing people, and taking road less traveled. Money is the only barometer, a scorecard of their ability to add and deliver more value. I go back to the quote from Andy Young. I didn't come here to take care of the orphans and the widows and the homeless. I came here to get wealthy and build hierarchy by doing it. Well, because I did, now I take care of the homeless, blah, blah, blah. The point is, it's got to be about the money, Omar. You're here to make, and the purpose of an enterprise is to fund, F-U-N-D, your ideal life. Make money has got to become the forefront of why you're here. And the way we determine, Omar, if you're money motivated, is how many recruits did you have last month in your base shop? How many? If you're not recruiting, you don't have a wealth conscious. Talk about that, Omar, and how it is about the money.
Well, and the pastors that tell you it's not about the money are the ones asking you to give money at the end of the sermon every time, right?
I love offering.
And the private schools, the private Christian schools that tell you it's not about the money, that are inviting you to their annual fundraisers to raise money. And it's hilarious. Everybody that tells you it's not about the money ends up asking you to give them money, but it's not about the money, right? So everything's about money. Listen, all money is a medium of exchange. It's all it is. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not evil. It's not innocent. It's a medium of exchange. You're going to use it to exchange for whatever you want. For example, like you said, I have a lady that works here in our house 8 hours a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She's been working with us for 18 years. She's one of the family. Okay. The lady, even though she loves us, would not work unless I was writing her a check every month. Okay. And if I wasn't making enough money, my wife and I would be washing the clothes and cleaning the floors. And how happy would my wife be? How happy would I be having to do that, right? Not very happy. So it is about the money. Our kids, they're in a private Christian school. Last year, they went to school all year long, normal, like a lot of other kids wanted to. But public schools here in Florida, I don't know, they're in Texas, but in Florida last year were online all year. They wasted a year of their life. And the ones that were hurt the most were the lower middle class and the lower class income kids, because they didn't learn anything. But the upper class and the rich kids that were in private schools, they went to school. So tell me it's not about the money when your kid loses a year of school and the rich kids, they didn't miss a beat. Okay, all these politicians that are rich, their kids, they're not in public school, they're in private school. I guarantee you, Biden's grandkids are in private school. Obama's grandkids and his kids and Trump's kids and Bush's kids and all the presidents, they all went to private school. They're not going to public school. But yet they want to pass rules and regulations that you don't have that choice. You have to go to the public school. You live in that, area. It's all about money. When you get that in your head and you really understand it, and I know a lot of you don't get it. All you hear is what you've learned all your life growing up from your parents. Ask yourself, do you want your parents' life? No. Do you want their net worth? No. So why in the hell would you listen to them, right? You can love them, but I love my mom, but I don't listen to her about anything related to money because I got way more than she's got, okay? Way more. So it's all about the money. When you get that and you're thinking about it and you realize it's the answer to, listen, every problem, I'd say 98% of your problems is resolved with a check. Okay, now if you got stage 4 cancer or you're on a ventilator and you got COVID and you're in the hospital and you got other, money's not going to save you. But 98% of the time, whatever problem you got is resolved with a check. The only problem is if you're not able to write the check. That's the problem. So money's everything. Live with it.
If money can solve your problem, you don't really have a problem.
Which is what I just said, right?
That's the point. If money can solve the problem, then you really don't have a problem. And Dr. Charles Stanley kind of points it out, which is a litmus test to the desire for you to make money has to be asked, does it hurt other people by you making money? No. Does it separate you from God? No. Then pursue it. So those are the two questions you've got to ask yourself to get normalized and on board with earning and accumulating money. And again, recruiting is the only way to do it here.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, let me add in there. You asked those two questions, right? Does you making money hurt other people? And the answer is no, obviously. It helps other people because like you said, when you make money, you can hire other people to do stuff, right? And you can help them that way. Number two, does it move you away from God? I would tell you, I'm closer to God now than I've ever been. When you got more, and it's not because I'm rich. It's not, oh, thank you, God, for blessing me with the rich. No, it's because you don't have to worry about the everyday problems. Because you could write a check, you could actually reflect on life more. You could reflect on all the blessings, like the blessings of me growing up poor with an alcoholic dad. I can now see how that was a blessing. Crazy, but I can now see how God placed me there to strengthen me, to teach me valuable lessons so that when I had kids, I would raise them differently. I can now see growing up stuttering, when I stuttered every single word and I thought God hated me, I can now totally see what a blessing that was. It made me mentally tough. It strengthened me. I have like rhino skin on me, right? Nothing hurts me because of growing up the way that I grew up. So in disguise, it was a blessing. So the more money you have, the more time you have. And the more time you have, you really reflect on a lot of stuff, and it really does bring you closer to God. So making money actually, I think, brings you closer to God and blesses other people. Now, if you're just a scumbag, dirtbag, making money won't bring you closer to God. But I always bring up money reveals who you really are. So if you're a good person, money's going to make you better. If you're an evil SOB, it'll make you worse. So,
let's go with the next one. We're running out of time here because we're going to show this, Tony, and then we're going to go straight to the 6 steps. Money is one of the great principles of moral gravitation. That's what you're talking about. Why do you have a job? To get paid. Why are you in business? And 9 times out of 10, they will reply, I'm in business to make money. Why are you a basketball player? I play to get paid. That's what I do. I create wealth. I add value. That's what I do. I'm a money-making machine. I don't build a hierarchy I build a hierarchy because I use those tools to get wealthy. Talk about that, Omar, and how you're here to get paid, and you measure success by how much money you make here. And again, these rings are not given to people that are good salespeople, because you can't get a ring like this unless you build a hierarchy, unless you're build a big securities guy. Talk about it, Omar, and how your mindset, I'm a money-making machine. I make money. Money comes to me. I'm a magnet for making money. Read, I'm a badass at making money. You magnetize yourself by your thoughts, and money is waiting to come to you because it gravitates to you. Talk about that, Omar.
I mean, I think it's what we always talk about. What you think about, you get. So most people think about their problems. That's what consumes their daily thoughts, their problems. So what do they get more of? More problems. Think about their debt. Oh my God, I'll never get out of debt. And that's what they think. So guess what? They'll never get out of debt, because that is exactly what they're thinking. If you can change the way you think, right? And it's hard to do that, I guess. Wasn't hard for me, but it's hard to do that, I guess. I used to think, like, when I had $28,000 of credit card debt way back in the 90s, in the 90s, Bill, I used to think I am debt-free and I am rich. As I was writing the minimum payments on my credit card bills when I was, in my early 20s, I was thinking I am debt-free and rich. I am with every check I wrote, I am debt-free and rich. I'm going to wipe this thing out. I'm going to get out of debt. I haven't owed a credit card debt since 1998. So 1998, 08, 2018, we're in 2021. That's 23 years I've not owed a credit card debt. But that was because of the way that I thought when I was in credit card debt. Where normal people, when they're in debt, they think about, oh my God, I'm so much in debt, I'll never get it. And then when they go spend money, their rationalization, because they've been thinking about it all the time, Bill, they've been thinking that I'll never get out of debt. So what do? They keep using their credit cards and they keep getting in debt, because in their mind, they've already trained themselves that they're never getting out of debt. So why bother making smart choices, right? Why bother? Because I'm going to get in debt the whole time. But if you were thinking I am debt free and I am rich and I'm a cash millionaire, when you go to use that credit card, you're going to think twice. And more than not, you're going to make the smart decision. You're not always going to make the smart decision. Okay. Nobody's perfect, right? But if you make the right decisions a lot more times than you make the wrong decisions, then you're going down the right path and you're going to end up a lot more well off than you would have been. So it all starts with the way you think. You attract money when you think about, I'm a money magnet. I often tell everybody, if Primerica closed down today. Everyone says, what would you do? I'd go make money. I have all this knowledge, all the skills, leadership skills, management skills, motivation skills, product skills. I could close, I could sell, I could roll up my sleeves, get back to work, put on my overalls and go to work, you know? And I'm telling you, it wouldn't take me long to do it because I've already done it once, right? So yeah, Primerica is an awesome tool. It's an awesome vehicle. It's the best one that I know of. Okay. So that's why I would never leave. But I'm telling you, if they close down tomorrow, it's not like I would just curl up and die, right? I would learn a way to make money because I'm a money maker. That is what I am. And that's what I've been telling myself for, I don't know, 8 years old. I was a money maker, you know, I don't know, a long time.
Again, I've driven down the road, Omar, saying I'm a money magnet. I'm a money making machine. I accumulate money. I'm making more money than I ever dreamed of, and there's more coming. And I bring wealth to other people. I would drive down the road and give those affirmations to myself. And it's amazing how you're sharpening your axe to make money. And then recruiting becomes natural. And when you attract money, you attract people. Make no mistake about it. I was reading all these books. I was reading about the Old Testament, about how Ruth met Boaz, who was wealthy. Why do they even bring that out? Because people admire wealthy people. Whether or not you like it, we admire people that have made and accumulated money because they've done something with their life. Who admires broke people?
Nobody.
And again, most people have fallen into the lie that broke is good. And so could you put up the 6 steps of Art Williams, Tony? Thank you, Tony. These are the 6 steps that Art Williams closes every meeting out. And I'm not going to go through this. People can take a picture of it. And but everything that you see today called Primerica started with Art Williams wanting $300,000 net worth. And so he can have $30,000 a year coming in, so he's under nobody's thumb. And he thought about it every day. And he said, somewhere in there, and I had it on a piece of cardboard by my phone, and it kept me from quitting when I wanted to quit. So you're here to build a net worth, not just to make 100, not just have a nicer car and home and clothes. You're here to get wealthy, and wealthy, in my opinion, is somewhere north of $3 million. When you got a $3 million net worth, you're wealthy, which means you can get $300,000 a year and tell Glenn Williams and everyone to go stick it in their ear. So talk about this, Omar, and how you've got to have a number in mind, not just I want to be wealthy, but a number in mind. I had $1 million net worth goal. I wanted to have $1 million put away. And I did it within 8 to 9 years because I made money, invested when the company went public, and like you did. And I still have my net worth goals that are a lot larger than what I am right now. And I have a number I'm after. You have to have a number you're after, net worth. And then the income will follow. Talk about that, Omar, as we start closing down.
Well, I'll tell you, it'll change over time, okay? Because when I was brand new RVP, my goal was to have $10,000 net worth. I listen to that now and laugh, right? If I had 10,000, $10,000 was like $1 million to me then, you know? So $10,000 when you work hard to get there, that's, you know, $50,000 sounds good, right? So 100,000, and then it was $1 million. So it took me 10 years, Bill, 2 years, 1 year part-time, 9 years full-time. And I accumulated $1 million cash money. And then within 2 years, I went to $2 million. So a lesson here that I want everybody to know is million number one's the hardest. Bill, wouldn't you agree million number one's the hardest?
Oh yeah, because you don't have any compounding yet.
Right. So
And-
million number
and you
one
gotta-
took me 10 years. Million number two took me 2 years. And now, like last year, I made 3.5 million in 12 months in a pandemic. Okay, think about that. So having a net worth goal is very, very important because it's real wealth. Having an income, listen, $100,000 income, when you take out all the money you use living, there ain't much left. Okay.
Taxes, yeah.
So having 100 grand goals, you have to have a net worth goal. And then what'll happen is your income will grow more. You will make, when you have 100 grand income goal, guess what you make? 100 grand or less. You usually miss your goal. You're a little bit under it. So if you got $1 million goal and you know, okay, in 10 years, I want to get to $1 million. And in order to do that, I need to invest 2 grand a month. And I work out all my numbers, how much I need, to live, and taxes and overhead, and how much would I need, to make in order to invest 2 grand a month every month over the next 10 years, yada, 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 whatever the number is. Then you have a real purpose. Your income goal is just a number, but when you attach it to a net worth, you have purpose. Only when you have purpose will you actually really work. You will not work. I mean, you might hit your ring. Hey, I got my ring. How many guys are walking around, Bill, with the ring on and their rolling 12 income is under 100,000, right? There's a ton of those suckers, right? Because their goal was to make 100,000. So they hit it. Whoop-de-doo. If their goal was to accumulate $1 million, they would have hit 100,000, went to 150, went to 200, went to 250, and reach their $1 million net worth goal. So I think having a net worth goal is very important. You got to link it to a period of time. You got to backtrack how much money you need to invest in order to reach that goal. And then you backtrack that to an income goal. And then you backtrack that to a recruiting goal. How many recruits would I need to have coming into my business in order to make X amount of dollars? Now you've got clear purpose. You have recruiting purpose, income purpose, because the recruiting purpose is so you can earn the income. The income purpose is so you're able to invest the money. That purpose is there so you can achieve your net worth goal. Your net worth goal is there so nobody ever places a thumb on your finger. Like everybody that won the Orlando trip, okay? If you're not comfortable in going, you ain't got to go. If you're rich, hey, listen, I ain't going. Hector Lamarck hasn't gone to a Primerica trip in, 10 years, 15 years, right? Why? He don't want to go. And nobody can tell him what to do. That pisses off a lot of people. I call it jealousy, okay? Because a lot of people wish they were living Hector Lamarck's lifestyle, traveling around the world, has multiple homes, never sweats. He never sweats. He lives 90 days in one place, 90 days in another place, 90 days in another place. He goes where the weather goes. I said, damn, I want to do that, Bill. In like 5 years, my kids graduate high school. We're already looking for, okay, this house will have it paid off. We're going to have another home in a place where in November, December, January, February, March, and April, we're going to live here as our primary residence for tax reasons. And those are the greatest weather months. But May, June, July, August, September, October, Florida sucks. It's hot, it's humid, it's rainy, and we're going to go get another home as beautiful as this home in a place where the weather is beautiful those months of the year. And we're going to live half the year there, half the year here. Now, I probably won't retire. I'll probably grow a business in the other location I'm at because I'm a money-making machine, right? So I'm not going to just not do nothing, but I'm not going to sweat anymore after 5 years, Bill. Like you had your house and you have your lake house, right? So when you get rich, you got options. Everybody's jealous, Bill. Everybody's jealous. Let them be jealous.
Well, I hope it sends them. Would you put those x-rays up? You didn't see this, Omar, because you get on a little after she showed it. Show those x-rays, Tony. This is what we showed. This is your brain. Again, there's nothing going on up there. Go to the first one again, Tony. Nothing going on. What are you thinking about? Nothing. You want to make money? That'd be nice. Nothing going on there. But what's your brain? Next one. Is this your brain on a job? I got to go to work. My boss, blah, blah, blah. And you're fretting. Friday's the best day of your life. You hate Mondays. Is this your brain right now? I want to go on vacations. I want to buy cars. I want to travel. I want to do things. Next one. Bill and Omar's brain. And that's what we're trying to accomplish today. And then again, if you're making money, we know what you're thinking about. If you're not making money, we know what you're thinking about. If you're recruiting, we know what you're thinking about. If you're not recruiting, we know what you're thinking about. And so it's what you're thinking about. Omar, give us a final word before. And our next, we have to move things around because of our schedules. The next one is going to be September the 24th. And I'm sorry I didn't connect with you first, Omar, before I put that other number up. But it's September 24th, same time.
Yeah, no.
And,
Tony let us know that on the group text. We have to work. Hey, listen, we got to work these schedules around your vacation schedule and my vacation schedule. So it's very difficult to get one day a month in there, but we got that day scheduled. And because everybody says, well, you could just do it while you're on vacation because it's Zoom. I go, I ain't doing nothing when I'm on vacation, and neither is Bill, because when we're on vacation, we're with our wife and our kids.
How do you know when you're on vacation?
I'm not home. That's the only way I know. It's where I wake up. If I wake up in a place that's not my bed, then I'm on vacation. And like right now, listen, this week, let me just give you the dream a little bit. This week, it's already Friday. I've not gone to the office once this week, Bill, not one time. And I've been home all week. And Alex Variantos is on here. He's in the office with me. He's a new RVP rolling 1,280 grand. Alex, wave your hand. Have I been in the office this week? Have you seen the ghost of Omar Oropesa? As a matter of fact, Bill, when I get in there, they go, oh, it's the unicorn. He exists, you know? And, but that's after years of busting my hump and in the office every day and recruiting and training. Our organization does 1,300 plus recruits a month, 1.4 million in premium a month, 11 million in volume, 5 to 8 million in loans, and all of that on automatic. You know, I mean, listen, that's why we run these Zooms. We know most of you all want to get there. We know you have the talent to get there. But unless you change the way you think, you're never going to get there. You cannot get there with a poverty mentality. You cannot get there if you're one of these guys when the government's giving out checks. I mean, and you're going, hey, I got my check, and you're happy about it. You have a problem in your mind. Bill and I got no checks. And even if I did, I don't want the damn check. I don't want nothing from the government, because you take anything from anybody and guess what you owe them? You owe them, right? So we need to change the way you think, which is why we run this meeting once a month, which is why we, Bill and I, invest time, and Tony invest time in this, making it happen, you know, to help you guys. We got up to 450 this week. 500 is the limit, right, Bill?
Yes.
Let's break that next month where we have to order the next largest program next time, because we're rich, we'll do it. But we don't want to do it unless we have to, because we're also smart. We invest our money. So if we don't need to do it, we're not going to do it. So Bill, you don't know how much I appreciate you, what a role you have as an example to me with your wife and your kids and your love for the Lord and your love of money. and the way you've lived your life has really impacted me. So I wanted you to know that I appreciate you more than you know, buddy. Thank you.
Well, I like the iron sharpening iron, and I needed you, and you're the first one I thought of when we needed to do this, because you are, the skill level of making money is incredible. And I mean, I love the fact that you're living that life you're living, and it's a great time for your children to be enjoying life, and you and Danielle. And aren't you glad you recruited and built something and decided to get wealthy? All right, everybody. We'll talk to y'all soon. See you on the 24th of September. Thank you, Omar.
Have a good one.
Stay safe. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.